Hello and welcome to my comprehensive guide to Earthshaker. If you want the quick and dirty, here are my recommendations for skill and item builds per role. I have Steam guides linked in the description. For reference, this iteration of Earthshaker that I'm going to be covering is 7.38c. Looks like this. This guide will be relevant in future patches so long as the Slugger facet and the Aghanim shard upgrade are still functioning in a similar fashion. I will be discussing the following topics in this guide with timestamps in the description for your convenience. Alright, so first, starting off with some numbers. At level 10, we have maxed out Fissure, maxed out Aftershock, and the 10 talent that gives us 90 Fissure damage. Without any items or anything that boosts our spell damage, we're going to be doing total 540 spell damage at range to lane creeps, because they've got no resistance. And then once we get our Kayasha, it's going to come up just a little bit to 604 damage. It's going to increase even further once we get our 15 talent and we get the 50 Aftershock damage. With just this talent and no boosting items, we're going to be able to do 590 damage at range. Kayasha added into the mix is going to take it up to 660 damage. So 660.8 is the maximum damage that we're going to be able to do at any point in the game reliably once we have all of our damage talents and items that we can buy. Now this does come up a little bit once we get neutral items thrown into the mix that add stuff. So for example, I think the highest combination you can get is at tier 3 taking Whisper of the Dread, and then once you hit tier 4 upgrading that and taking the Timeless enchantment, which puts you up to a potential of 767, a ton of damage at range. Now the reason I'm showing you these spell damage numbers is because it's important to know the breakpoints specifically for the lane creeps and one-shotting them at range. Once you hit level 10 and get your Fissure damage upgrade talent and a Kaya, you'll be able to one-shot lane creep waves until minute 30. With level 15 and Kayasha, you'll be able to one-shot creep waves all the way until 75 minutes. Now another important mechanic to know is that the Aftershock that is produced by your Fissure when you have Aghanim shard stacks with the damage of the Aftershock that is produced by your hero when you cast a spell, meaning that when you cast a spell, you can get 2 Aftershocks if you have a Fissure out. So the reason it's important to know that you get double Aftershocks from the shard is because it really affects your burst potential. So take this example where we have 2 enemy heroes here. When we cast our full rotation of spells, look how much damage the one that's sitting next to the Fissure takes versus the one that isn't. So without even hitting with the enchant totem, you can see that this dummy took 1000 damage and the other dummy took 1900 damage. That's a 900 damage difference just from the fact this dummy is standing near to the Fissure. Another important mechanic to know, especially right after you get your shard, is that you have free pathing through your Fissure once you get the shard. So specifically when you're being chased by like melee heroes, if I have this little dummy try and follow me, I can Fissure it, and I can walk on this side, and he's going to try and walk around. I just walk back through, now he's got to go back around, do this, break some ankles. You can also use your Fissure to walk up and down or through impassable terrain. Kind of like how Spectre Dagger works. So if I throw a Fissure right here, because I'm standing like on the Fissure because I generated it, I'll have free pathing for a brief period of time. So like I can walk downhill right there. Now with some of the basics out of the way, I wanted to talk a bit about the general game plan. It's pretty simple. You want to stay off of the map as much as possible and push waves by throwing Fissure from fog once you have your shard and Kaya. By pushing the waves out, you'll force reactions from the enemy team, which can often set up opportunities for you to get surprise kills with a Blink Echo Slam. Boots of Travel will further augment this if you're trying to be particularly avoidant. And between waves, you want to find jungle camps that are close enough together for you to hit 2 of the jungle camps with 1 Fissure and kill them with the Aftershock damage with Enchant Totem. That's pretty much it. It's a very simple and fun strategy. It enables you to constantly set up good fights for yourself while you're collecting a ton of gold and XP from the jungle and the lanes. Alright, now with the strategy laid out, let's talk a bit about the roles. Earthshaker right now is a viable pick as either pause 2, 3, or 4, but I personally think he fits best in the offlane role as a pause 3. As a position 3, you want to put priority on using your Echo Slam off cooldown early on and taking Dangerous Farm once you have your shard and your Kaya. This build is pretty straightforward, and you want to flex whatever is appropriate for the game once you have your Blink, Shard, and Kayasha, as those are your core items. As a support, you want to abuse your ability to stack multiple camps at once and be a long-range nuker that provides counter initiation for your cores. We're going to put off our damage items a little bit to make sure that we're buying items to enable the cores, like Glimmer Cape. Eventually, you still want to be able to play your own game with your remaining item slots, so getting your Kai item, your shard, and having a Blink Dagger. Mid lane, however, is going to be the biggest change, where you're going to opt for a much different playstyle. On the mid lane, you want to max out Enchant Totem first, followed by Aftershock, making sure that you do not skip Fissure at level 4, otherwise you'll lose out on a lot of burst damage. You want to use your early Totem to secure and deny range CS, so at level 1, and start using the level 2 and level 3 Totem to harass your opponent to start conditioning them for a kill at level 6. From there, you want to farm up for your Blink Dagger and your Shard Nags, and do a mix of magic and physical damage with this build. Since you're going to be trying to make the most of the totem, you probably want to get a BKB early on too. That's going to allow you to stick in the middle of team fights without getting chain disabled and killed. And you still want to take the same talents though, so at 10 you still want to take 90 fissure damage unless you happen to be snowballing in a big way early on. Now for farming, there isn't anything too special with this hero. However, you do want to make use of the fact that Fissure can reach 2 camps, either to clear 2 camps at the same time, or to aggro them and stack 2 camps at the same time. If you make frequent use of Earthshaker's ability to farm 2 camps at once and clear waves as often as possible, you will very likely be the highest level in the game and it will have a very high net worth, if not top net worth. The last thing I wanted to say before I get into showing you some examples of things I've been talking about, some cool clips, is that for team fighting, you're pretty much going to be a backliner until you find a good opportunity to drop Echo Slam. Once you use your Echo Slam, you are pretty much full committed. You're going to be right in the center of the fight, ideally, and then from there you want to use the stun time that you have off of Aftershock and Fissure to try and kite your way back out of the fight, and Yule or Wind Waker or something to buy yourself time to try and get off another Enchant Totem or kite around some trees. It's also really important to be taking note of the terrain around you while you are fighting. Getting a nice terrain block using Fissure on a choke point is sometimes just a free kill. Like, even if you don't have a lot of burst damage, just preventing them from having an escape is enough to kill people sometimes. So keep an eye out for that. So for the clips, I don't have anything too fancy right here. I'm watching Storm Spirit farming. This is their mid, I'm the offlaner, and boom, a free kill that I set up by pushing the wave out earlier to his tower, forcing them to react to it, and then I just get a free Echo Slam kill. In this game, I'm playing Support Shaker. I'm sitting here on a hill. We've seen their team on the map earlier. We know they're all in this bottom part of the map where both teams are postured for team fighting here. So I'm just guarding this high ground that I can tell they don't have vision on. Somebody's going to scout the hill. I'm going to get a stun off, and then I'm immediately going to kite out of the fight. Right here, we all get caught out. Bad position by me. I should have kept walking a little bit further. I see they're all clumping back up. I'm going to try to go in and get an Echo Slam off before I die. Get killed by Blade Mail, but that's fine. It's not my job to stay alive. I'm just trying to set up a good fight for my cores. That's what I end up doing. In this one, I'm back to a core roll. I just respawned, coming back to an extended team fight. I'm going to stay on the edge for a little bit, and then I see that they can't really stay in the fight, so I'm going to blink in and try and get some totem damage off, because at this point, they're pretty much done fighting. They don't want to be here. I'm going to keep chasing, still staying at range, because I, of course, don't want to stay and fight a Slark, get punched to death. Catch a super long-range snipe with the Fissure, because I have so much burst damage, I just kill him outright from a mile away. Get a totem hit onto the Shaman, it's going to get him killed. Take a little stun on a PA, and just perfect control, cleanup, playing Shaker. In this fight, you can see Invoker's going to drop his wave first, and I'm going to hold my Fissure and actually cancel it, wait for his disable to finish out first before I throw that out there for maximum stun time. Now that my Fissure is back on cooldown, I'm going to try to kite back out of the fight because I no longer want to be taking it. They're going to chase me to the tower. I still have Echo Slam, so I'm going to use it to double stun up with an Enchant Totem. Here I see my support Wyvern stacking 2 camps up. I'm going to come in to try and steal those, and the enemy team's waiting for me. Fortunately, my support Wyvern saves me right there, so I'm going to be able to live for a little bit longer. He's going to drop a fantastical right here. Catch 3 heroes in it. I'm lining it up. I'm going to drop Fissure first, so I don't waste my ult damage. While they're stunned outside of Wyvern ult, I Echo Slam, get the totem off, and it just kills everybody. In this clip, I have an example of the opposite. This is where I mess up the execution of my spells. I cast them in the wrong order, and because of that, the enemy Slark ends up getting away, and possibly some other heroes. I also end up dying. See, they're starting to ball up. That looks like a beautiful Echo Slam. Wyvern ults early. Amazing. Perfect setup for me. Waiting for the ult to finish so I can get damage out of it. Blink in, slam, enchant totem, and then Fissure. I missed out on an Aftershock damage right there by Echo Slamming immediately and then following it up with an enchant totem instead of a Fissure. Using Fissure as your last spell is going to give you the weakest burst, and I end up going down because of it. Here's another clip from that same game where I'm out leveling the Storm mid, just to show you like how crazy Earthshaker's burst potential is. It's so strong. Here a little bit later in the same game, just want to show you that because I'm so far ahead by making these good plays, he just can't do anything. He even has Orchid, and he still can't stop me from killing him. Now, something interesting to note about this clip, and I didn't do it on purpose, but something that you can do is, if you look, I cast Enchant Totem before Fisher and then Yule. So if you do it this way, you'll get more disable time, but you'll get less burst. So it's good if you need your teammates to catch up to you. Reason for this is it allows you to cast one more Enchant Totem when they come down from the Yule. This one I have an example of the Ag build, and also the importance of BKB if you are playing the Ag build. So right here, I just see a huge Ego Slam. I just jump in and take that for free immediately. And then this is the part that I don't really like about the Ags build, is now that I'm stuck into the middle of a fight, I'm just getting chain controlled. I get BKB delivered in a really nice timing though, allows me to continue playing aggressively. I'm going to use the free pathing from the Fisher to walk past some impassable terrain, get out a little bit, and re-engage, keep the Invoker in the fight, and we're going to take their whole team. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Thank you for watching, and good luck.